Hi, this is Tom Kane, the voice of Jedi Master Yoda. And this is Inside the Force. Listen, you will. Foreseen it I have, yes.
It is a period of Star Wars mania, as new movies, comic books, novels, and TV shows populate the system. Fueled by their love and passion for the galaxy far, far away, two exceptional geeks tap into hundreds of holocrons in order to bring you the knowledge and insight of all things Star Wars. Come and join them as they go inside the Force.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Inside the Force, by far one of my favorite parts of the week. Here with Casey Cooley.
Hello everybody. I live for this week.
Yes, totally. Did I say my name already?
You're Dave Cottingham.
Okay.
They know. They should know who you are.
I know.
You're everywhere.
I know.
You're the Ryan Seacrest of the 21 Network.
That's a pretty accurate take.
Yeah.
You know, Chad claims to be the Chris Hardwick of the Gotham After Show.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that's what he's trying to be. So that's true. I'm the Ryan Seacrest of the 21 Network. That's pretty cool. Welcome everybody. This is Inside the Force, where we're talking about the galaxy far, far away. That's the Star Wars galaxy. If it's Star Wars, we're talking about it.
Yes.
And we got a lot to talk about in this episode. We're going to be reviewing the second to last episode of season 1 of Rebels, Star Wars Rebels. And then, of course, previewing next week's season finale. So this one we're going to talk about Rebel Resolve. Next week's is Fire Across the Galaxy. And we'll talk about the trailer that I just watched, actually. I didn't even know that was out. Mm-hmm. Awesome. And then we'll talk about getting into comics, because Darth Vader #2 got released this week by Marvel. We will dive into that as well. Of course, do some trivia. And get you set for next week and what's coming next week. So anyway, first up, normally, actually we'll get into some real quick Inside the Force stuff. InsideTheForce.com is where you can get all the episodes that we've done. Of course, subscribe right there to our RSS feed or iTunes, Stitcher Radio, or TuneIn Radio. We're on Facebook at Inside the Force, Twitter at Inside the Force, and you can go to our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/21network, where you can get all new videos and shows on there from all across the network. One in particular, Inside the Force. We're going to be putting some weekly, not weekly maybe, but pretty often we're going to put some videos up there. Of course, if you got some questions for us, send us at Inside the Force. Of course, you can tweet us. You can tweet Casey at Kryptonian1138. I am at dcottingham21. You can send it by email, info@insidetheforce.com. All right, so we usually start off with obviously the biggest news, which is focusing around episode 7. But
yeah, I mean, there's not been much because everything's gearing up for Celebration. Everybody's just getting pretty hyped about that. And I mean, Abrams is doing some more interviews, it seems like, about things in there. And it seems like everybody's trying to guess what's going on for Thursday, because that's the big opening ceremony Thursday.
Yes.
It's most likely going to be a trailer. I mean, we've been talking about that here. That's what it seems like everybody else is pretty sure of that. Probably a trailer, so that's fine. But in regards to other, sorry.
Is that you or me?
That's
you.
That was weird. Sorry about that, guys. But that was actually something I was going to talk about. MTV did a interview with a couple actresses, part of the new Star Wars films. Lupita Nyong'o, who was at the Oscars. Trying to get some information about her, and it made me think, she's been flying under the radar. No one's been talking about her.
I agree.
I mean, Domhnall Gleeson's starting to get some rumors about him out there, if you guys are, interested enough to look at the potential spoilers. But, Lupita, no one really knows still. I mean, when she was first announced, everybody thought, she's going to be maybe Asajj Ventress, because she kind of looks like her, those kind of things. But they weren't able to get any information from her, but it still begs the question, who or what could she be? It's most likely a villain. That's what it seems like it is, but
Asajj would be old.
Yeah, she would be.
But
absolutely.
Depending on how they age.
She probably would have hair, too.
Night Sister, I don't know how.
That's true. I don't know. But other piece of news, they interviewed Felicity Jones, who is unofficially but pretty much officially confirmed to be in the Gary Whitta spinoff film Star Wars. She was just recently in Theory of Everything. She was nominated, I Was she nominated for that?
I think so.
Pretty sure she was. Felicity Jones, and she's I believe she's been in a lot of things recently. She's kind of she's been around for a little while, but she's now just starting to get recognized.
Yeah.
In many other films, but she couldn't say much. But she's like unofficially confirmed. But she basically said in that interview like she can't talk about Star Wars because she'll get like that joke where she'll get killed if she talks about Star Wars.
Right.
So it pretty much she is going to be in the spinoff for Star Wars. Yeah,
I'm telling you, Walt Disney, they're murderers.
Yeah,
if you
they
break a contract.
They'll get you with a dart.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much all the news that I have. Really, there's not much going on right now.
No, not much going on. The biggest thing is obviously Star Wars Rebels, but
Right.
let's hold off for that a little bit and just dive into a couple of the other side news. For one, I keep forgetting and want to lay it out there because it's been a little while. This coming Tuesday, we're getting a brand new novel.
Holy crap!
Heir to the Jedi.
Yeah.
I didn't forget, but I just knew it was coming. That will be in your local bookstores and on obviously Amazon.com, your Kindles, this Tuesday, March 3rd.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm sorry. Is that Monday?
That's a Tuesday.
No, it is Tuesday. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
Tuesday, March 3rd is the release of Heir to the Jedi. So it's written by Kevin Hearn. Looking forward to that one. I've been dying about that one. Obviously, it has a lot to do with Luke Skywalker, and it's again following the events of Episode 4. So it's canon, your third canon novel that's coming out there. So check that out. And then real quick, we'll get into comics. Do a quick review of Darth Vader number 2. Number two. Again, Marvel, picking up the Star Wars series now, a canon series. This book written by Kieran Gillen, artist by Salvador LaRocca, and of course edited by the Story Group.
Yeah,
that you mentioned earlier. Pablo Hidalgo, Leland Chee, and then Rain Roberts.
Yeah, and it seems like
that's someone I don't really know.
Yeah, I'll see if I can look them up real quick. But they're I mean, it's bigger than those three guys. Am I wrong? It's like a
Dave Filoni's on there.
Dave Filoni. So,
and I think Rain might be. Is that the woman that's on there? Maybe that's.
I hope we're right about that. I'd
Yeah.
be embarrassed if
but I'm not sure. There's a woman on there too.
Yeah. But it's just, I guess they assigned different people of Story Group to work on different projects. It seems like.
I thought there was like a 10-member group.
I thought it was something like that.
Kathleen
too.
Kennedy's on it too. I think. I'm pretty sure. I think Kathleen Kennedy and Filoni for sure.
Yeah.
And then of course you got Leland Chee, Hidalgo, and you got a couple other ones that I've seen in interviews. They're in that interview where they talk about the Clone Wars legacy thing.
Yeah.
They're in there.
Yeah. Oh my.
So anyway,
internet's being slow, but
anyway,
anywho.
they obviously have a say on what happens in all aspects, including this.
Yeah.
So this is Vader number 2. In the previous issue, it was all about his failure with the Death Star blowing up. Basically, Palpatine, almost demoting him in a sense.
Yeah.
And this kind of picks up now at the end of the last issue. You saw his plan was to hire some bounty hunters. Namely, he hired Boba Fett
Booba
and a Wookiee.
I can't remember his last name.
Yeah, I can't remember his name. Wookiee,
It's like
a bounty hunter.
Black Warrior or something. It was some name like that. I don't know.
And he and that's how that ended. So this one, actually, I think I have it on here still. Vader number.
Yeah, it hasn't said yet what he is doing with those guys. Really.
Well,
Right.
I mean, I think they're supposed to track down
Just
Luke. Are they not?
This force sensitive rebel pilot. Yeah, so I guess that's what they're doing right now, and we don't know. But that's not what happens in the second one. The second one, this issue 2 goes in a little bit different direction. Basically, Vader is working with General Tag, and I mean, what's the mission necessarily? I mean, that was one of the things, I guess. Maybe I just read too fast, but like Vader, like Tag is kind of ordered to. I mean, like you said, he's being demoted. Vader's being demoted, so he's kind of working under General Tag, who's actually, what's his title? Like Grand General now, I guess. He has like a
Grand General Tag.
Grand General Tag. So he's
the Grand General,
bringing Vader in to go to basically just find. I think it's just one normal like mission for the Empire to like track down some pirates or like some pirates smuggling some equipment, whatever, some stuff, and Vader and some stormtroopers are just trying to get them and get some information from them or something like that. But really interesting. And then like Tag even sends some kind of Empire lackey to closely follow Vader, and this guy's like really getting on his nerves. It just seems like Vader is getting really annoyed. I mean, as he should be, because he's being treated like scum right now by everybody.
Yeah,
everybody seems to underestimate him.
It just seems like it seems like this is just extending from Episode 4, where he was kind of ordered to take direction from Grand Moff Tarkin,
right?
And now he's been ordered to take direction from General Tag, and he's abusing the power. It seems like, because this is the guy. If you remember, this is the guy in Episode 4 where he was questioning the power of the Death Star, right?
Yeah.
Or not just that, he was questioning just the Rebel Alliance. He was the one talking about, they'll
exploit it.
They'll support the support in the Senate is going to keep fueling this rebellion, and that's when Tarkin walks in, is like, no, they won't. Palpatine just resolves the Senate, and then he's like, well, how are you gonna control the systems, now? And then that's when Tarkin's like, no, fear,
right.
Fear is going to keep the local systems in line, and the governors now have control of their system. So, so Tag now, after obviously he wasn't on the Death Star when it exploded, so he's now assumed command of Lord Vader now, in a sense. And you're right. So this whole smuggling, there's a smuggling vessel there. That's what this thing is. It's like it's out there. It's remotely piloted. Yeah, and it's basically attacking ships and stealing.
That's a blockade runner. Is that what it was?
Yeah, it's one of those. Yeah, it's one of those
like
Tantive 4 types.
Yeah.
So it's basically like attacking ships and stealing its cargo and then taking it back. So they basically capture this thing, repair it, so that it goes back to the base, and that's where Vader is supposed to go. And then he uses that opportunity because Tag basically assigns a lackey.
Yeah, that's like wimp guy
to watch Vader.
Watch you closely. That's my mission, is to watch you closely.
Yeah, I mean, and he's like checking out who he's been talking to and all this stuff. And
does he know what he's doing? Does he know?
I don't know how you can. Yeah,
it just seems like everybody does. Like, it's Darth Vader. I mean, you're old enough, I feel like, to understand that the Jedi's had the Force and how powerful it is. And it actually brings up a good point. And I was watching one of the Rebel recons. There was a question for Pablo Hidalgo saying, why is everybody how come no one remembers the Jedi when it's only been like 15 years? Right. And he brings up a great point when I never thought about, where even at during the Clone Wars, at the height of the Clone Wars, the height of the Jedi, there was only like 10,000 or so Jedi scattered across an entire galaxy.
Correct.
So these are billions and billions of people living throughout the galaxy on each planet, depending on what planet it is. And 10,000 amongst billions and billions, and they rarely even do anything besides just keep the peace. You would rarely see a Jedi, so it's mostly myth because you don't even see them, so you only go off hearsay. So 15 years later, after the Jedi are extinct, you kind of just forget even the stories that you heard. So that's why, I guess that explains kind of why these Imperial guys are very skeptical of Vader and his prowess and his his threatening presence, because it doesn't seem like Vader uses the Force too much except for to Force choke people, but he just has that. They almost see him just as a good warrior with someone with a lightsaber, essentially. 'Cause that's what Tag is explaining to him, is like, think of yourself as an extension of your lightsaber. You are a weapon called upon when the time is needed, kind of thing. Totally crapping all over Vader and telling him he's worthless. He's just a puppet, essentially. I feel like that's what fuels Vader so far in this series, that he's just annoyed with the Emperor, annoyed with all these guys, dumping on him. So he's kind of just dispatching with them and like doing his own thing, trying to prove his value, which he shouldn't have to because he's daggone Lord Darth Vader. But that's kind of the position that he's in currently in this series.
So, yeah, I wanted to look this up, even though technically this isn't canon.
What?
But because I wanted to, but I'm sure somewhat of this is. But I was thinking, because you were talking about the Jedi being almost like a myth.
Yeah. Just to keep
the perspective alive, like the galaxy, the Star Wars galaxy, according to legends, obviously in the EU at one point, it was described that there were 3.2 billion habitable star systems.
Okay.
So, it just gives you the sense of like 10,000 Jedi to billions of systems. You know what I mean? So it's like, it would get lost. Mm-hmm. I mean, and that's why the Outer Rim never got governed really ever.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like it was rare to see a Jedi. It was rare, even when the Empire took over, it was rare to see the Empire.
That's true.
In the Outer Rims. It was like, what's the Empire doing here? You know, it's like, because it was controlled by the Hutts and all that stuff, and the gangsters and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just like Watto says, even in think about it, episode 1.
Yeah.
Like the Republic credits are no good here. I mean, they're outside the system almost, So, so it was. I think it was rare. Even even episode 1, when there was probably maybe, I guess that was about the same amount of Jedi, but anyway, so I know you kind of. So I mean, what was your overall take of the book?
I mean, I liked it. I am waiting for. I guess it's setting up so much for Vader to kind of have his big comeback, but I'm interested to see and to see where he's going, if he tracks down Luke, if he has a confrontation with Luke, kind of thing. That's pretty interesting. But yeah, I liked it though. I love the art of this series. I think it looks fantastic, and I love how they're writing Vader. But I feel like there's just so much. I think there's more that we're not getting from Vader in his kind of initiative that he's taking upon himself. But yeah, it's just setting up a lot. And I'm interested to see what will unfold in the coming issues.
Yeah.
That's good.
So I definitely enjoyed it. I'm liking both the books right now, Star Wars and of course Vader. They're very intertwined because they're happening around the same time.
They run together.
Yes,
too.
It's basically what's happening each side's perspective, and then of course you're gonna throw another one in next week. So March 4th. Yes, March 4th, Wednesday, Comic Day. You will get Princess Leia #1. Again, around the same events. I guess it's supposed to be right after Episode 4 still. So that issue will be hitting their comic shelves next week. Go check that out. We'll of course get it and talk about it next week. Review it for you. But overall, I just can't say enough. If you want to get into the canon of Star Wars, pick up these comics, man.
Yeah,
these are great books. If you can get them, I mean, if you just get them digitally, they're fantastic to watch, to read on a pad or something like that. So, all right, so that's what's happening in the comic world. Now let's move to the TV stuff, which is Star Wars Rebels. This past week we were shown the second to last episode called Rebel Resolve, and I just gotta say, overall, fantastic episode.
Oh yeah.
Any surprises on your end about it?
Well, the one thing that really stood out to me, and it wasn't like much of a surprise, more just like a cool detail that I don't know if a lot of people picked up on, when and spoiler if you haven't seen the episode.
Yes,
that's crazy if you haven't. But after Kanan is captured and the Inquisitor is interrogating him, he uses this like electric shock to torture him. But he has these two machines electrocute him, And it made me think, why doesn't the Inquisitor electrocute him himself with the Force? And I realized, well, because he doesn't know how, because he is not Sith.
Correct.
And it just reinforced that idea, because I don't know if people are still even aware of the fact that there's a difference between Sith and just Dark Jedi, or Jedi, Dark Jedi Apprentice, whatever you want to call him. That's what the Inquisitor is. He's just a Dark Jedi. He is not a Sith. He's not like a Count Dooku, or Darth Maul isn't really even a Sith, technically. I mean, he kind of, I think, thought of himself as a Sith. Maybe he eventually became one, I think, kind of. But for the most part, like starting off, he was just a Dark Jedi. He was just another apprentice in a way.
Yep.
Because he didn't do Force lightning either. I mean, until I guess Clone Wars. Did he do it in Clone Wars? Force lightning?
I don't think he ever did. No.
But so it's really, that was just a really interesting detail about the Inquisitor that I thought. So he's not as powerful as your run-of-the-mill Sith, like a Dooku or Vader. Of course, hardly anybody is. But I thought that was really cool. But yeah, I mean, it was still pretty interesting. I think the series really kicked up a notch with these last couple episodes with Kanan being captured, and I'm still think it's kind of hilarious how Tarkin is hesitant to believe that Kanan is a Jedi. I'm just so, even the trailer for the season finale, it's like, what is it going to take for you to believe that he's a Jedi? I mean, has he used the Force in front of him? Like, I don't understand. It's just,
right.
Maybe he's just so stubborn he just refuses to acknowledge the fact and give them power. Like, if I acknowledge the Jedi, then that gives them power kind of over me in a way. So that was pretty interesting. No, I love it, and I think there's just so much anticipation for this finale based off this past episode and what I've seen of the next episode.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I'm with it too. I noticed that with the Inquisitor, because that's basically what he. That's what he is. He's an Inquisitor. He's not a Sith. He's not. That's just his rank. He's an Inquisitor. He uses. He's skilled with a lightsaber. Can use the Force in a sense because he can Force grab stuff, Force push stuff. Mm-hmm. But I think you have to be tapped into the dark side to actually use Force lightning. Mm-hmm. I'm just not sure he's.
It's something you study.
Yes,
like the Jedi study the Force. That Sith, you study the Sith arts. Like Palpatine had those holocrons, those Sith holocrons.
Right.
You study it, you learn it. It's more like a religion, a way of life, than just.
Very true. Very true.
In evil ways.
So overall, I think it's setting up a fantastic finale. I thought this was, the infiltration with the rebels was really good. Now,
they're just good at pretty much anything they do. I feel
know.
Like they're so Zeb and Ezra in the beginning of that episode were pretty much taking on a squad of stormtroopers. They were like hijacking those walkers.
Yep,
and just these guys, I feel like can do anything they want.
Yeah, they're and it's funny. It kind of reminds me of one of my favorite movies, The Patriot. Yeah, do you remember The Patriot? Mel Gibson.
Yeah, and those guys are
well, how the British always had this uniform sense of doing things. Like
that's actually a good analogy because the Inquisitor's in that too.
He is.
Yeah.
He's the
whatever that character's name was. Talkington or something like that, or
Colonel something. Colonel.
But
anyway,
Jason Isaacs.
Jason Isaacs.
Yeah.
So. And Mel Gibson's character Benjamin.
Martin.
Benjamin Martin. Yeah. So he just goes and takes unconventional ways, but it's always like stealth and behind the scenes kind of thing where he's ambushing, and that's what I feel like they're doing. They're fighting back in an unconventional way, a way the Empire doesn't really expect, and they're able to get stuff done that way. So, so that was Heroes Resolve. Again, like you said, setting up a fantastic looking finale. Finale is called Fire Across the Galaxy. Now,
what does that refer to?
This being so big, they did not release this early.
Yeah, I was bummed, but
because I was ready to go watch it, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I just watched Rebel Recon. She said because this is kind of a big deal. we're not going to have it on early.
Like, dang it. So that is premiering with everybody else. Unfortunately, if you're on the East Coast, you'll get it first.
Yeah, shoot.
So East Coast people will get it 9 o'clock on Disney XD this Monday, March 2nd. And I'm stoked about it. Now, we got the little bit of news we got this week was the confirmation that a certain Sith Lord will make his return. Darth Vader will be in this episode. Mm-hmm. But there hasn't been any confirmation about James Earl Jones. I mean,
it's true. Yeah.
So does he talk, or does he just
come in,
walk,
kill somebody, walk away?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm assuming he talks.
Yeah.
But no one's saying James Earl Jones returns for the finale.
You just see him in the background walking around.
Yeah.
On like a Star Wars story.
I mean, is it possible that they use somebody else's voice?
I don't know why they would, I guess, unless he doesn't talk a whole. I don't know. I mean, they can. They've found people before who sound an awful lot like James Earl Jones. So maybe.
I mean, the person that does them in the
games and all that,
like the robot chickens and the detours.
Yeah.
I mean, that sounded fine, you know. Yeah. But I'm sure they won't pick whoever that was. I don't know if it was.
I don't know.
It might have been Seth MacFarlane, but I don't think it was. I know he was.
He was the emperor.
He was the emperor.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was curious that I didn't see his name out there yet.
Maybe he will. They just didn't say it. I don't
Yeah.
know. True. Good little detail.
So Vader does come back. I don't know. Any speculation? What do you think is going to happen in this?
They just see. I mean, they set it up so much, and we've kind of talked about it too. How someone's gonna die. Now,
you think someone's gonna die in this?
It seems like it. I mean, I feel like it's up in the air. Honestly, I feel like it's just as likely that the Inquisitor could die, Ezra could die, or Kanan could die. I feel like it's totally plausible for one of them to go. Maybe not this early. I don't know. Maybe I will be surprised if one of them goes this early. I think the Inquisitor can be killed off because I
think so.
It's an Inquisitor. You can get a new Inquisitor, but
right.
And kind of. But even he and Callus both have kind of been pushed in the back burner, and Tarkin's now kind of like the supervillain, which he really is.
Right.
But I feel like, the Inquisitor could be dispatched pretty quickly. The trailer sets it up almost as if, Ezra may die kind of thing, just because there's that shot where Inquisitor throws his lightsaber, then Kanan's, running after him saying no, and whatever, then it cuts to black, But, we've talked to here where maybe it's likely that Ezra could die, and that's, then Kanan kind of just exiles himself after feel like a failure. But I feel like that could happen in season 4 or whatever.
At the end.
Of the show, yeah. Or just the opposite, Kanan could die and Ezra can kind of exile himself. And then maybe he is in episode 7. I don't know. That's kind of what we talked about. So, or even Kanan's in episode 7, really. Could be. Don't know. But, I feel like someone, I don't know. I'm just saying I won't be surprised if somebody big like that is knocked off in this last episode. Inquisitors most likely, but I won't be surprised if it's Ezra or Kanan as well.
Yeah, man, season 1 that's gonna be tough to kill off somebody at that early, but
yeah,
because I'm thinking they're if they fall through and go 4 or 5 seasons with this thing,
and they probably won't kill off Ezra or Kanan just because. We've only had, 13 episodes? So that's not enough, really, to, I feel fall in love with the character enough, then kill him off, and, get the reaction. I feel like people will most likely hate it than love it, but, maybe not them too, but I think the Inquisitor probably is most likely to die.
Yeah, I can easily see him getting... Die. And because in the end, I don't know if he's become... as popular of a character as
they thought he would be,
as a Darth Maul or even a Dooku or something like that.
I think one reason we just haven't seen him enough.
We haven't. I mean, I think even Ventress was a better.
Yeah, she was pretty.
Even though she was, she's kind of the equal, like the Sith assassin.
Mm-hmm. I feel like she can kick his butt, though.
She doesn't use Force lightning, does she either? Nope. Yeah.
So that's one of the things. I think that's one of the defined markings of a Sith is that they can do Force lightning.
Yeah, I agree. I think so. So again, Fire Across the Sky or Fire Across the Galaxy. It just seemed like too there's a lot of space battling going on there. It looks like the rebels are actually.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's possible the return of Bail and Organa.
Yeah, and Fulcrum
Fulcrum is there. That's true.
And we talk about that too. Like, this past episode had some Fulcrum in it.
Yeah.
The voice, although it's distorted, and hopefully I'm not being sexist or misogynist, whatever you want to call it, and saying that it sounds like a girl. It has like a kind of a high feminine inflection, I feel like, in the voice, even though it is computerized. Which, again, leads me even further to believe that it could be Ahsoka.
Totally.
Or someone else. I don't know. But
Leia, maybe.
Leia, yeah. So Leia or Ahsoka, I think, is pretty good.
Leia, that'd be
awesome, man.
Awesome.
That'd be so cool.
God, that would be awesome.
But the way we're seeing them, they got that hooded look. Almost,
Yes.
It looks a lot like the Emperor, but I'm sure it's not the Emperor. That'd be ridiculous.
It would be. I think Ahsoka is probably the safest bet.
See, I was trying to look too, like, would they be smart enough to, even though she wears a hood, and if it is Ahsoka, to animate like the kind of bumps in the hood where her, I don't know if you call them ears or tentacles are, or whatever you want to call them. I was trying to look for that, and I didn't see that, so it made me think, I feel like they would still animate that, even though it's her and she wears a hood.
But because she's had a hood in the Clone Wars.
It sets up higher though, doesn't it?
I mean, I don't know. I can't remember. You have to look at it.
That's what maybe it's Leia,
But that's true. That would be a true. That would be a true description if
a good detail.
if it is Ahsoka.
Yeah.
Why doesn't she have that same look?
Yeah.
Well, she may though. I mean, it might just be
tucked in the back or
tucked
something.
in the back.
I don't know. I'll have to watch it again.
Okay, so other than that, I think that's all the discussion we got about what's out there in Star Wars right now.
Mm-hmm.
Again, we can't keep talking about it. We will every week. Star Wars Celebration, Anaheim, is coming to April 16th through the 19th. So that is, a little over 2 months or a little over a month away.
Mm-hmm.
We will know next weekend if our film, Star Wars Bounty, has made the cut.
Mm-hmm.
And if so, we will definitely be pushing that to everybody because we want to win. We want to win the audience award if we have the chance to.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll I guess we'll probably record before we find out, so we might not be for a couple weeks till we
next week will
talk
still
about
be a few days away.
Yes. So, but of course you can check out the teaser for that at our 21 Pro YouTube channel, youtube.com/21pro. We're going to release the film probably shortly after whether or not we know we're in or out. Depends. So right around that time, early March, we'll release the entire film for everybody. So other than that, we will be back here next week talking about Fire Across the Galaxy. That's going to be a big episode to talk about. So we'll definitely spend a lot of time on that next week.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so trivia. All right, let's see what we got here.
Trivia.
1569.
Ready. I'm ready.
You're ready. 1569. I haven't kept track of it. I got to go back and figure out the record here.
Yeah. Well, it's just for fun now, pretty much.
Yeah.
We're just kind of doing this.
1569. How many squad laser cannons did the Millennium Falcon have? How many, not squad, quad. How many quad laser cannons
makes sense
did the Millennium Falcon have? 2, 3, 4, or 1? Quad laser cannons.
2, 3, 4, or 1. All right, I'm pretty sure I know what the answer is, but let me double check. Let me go back. Let me think in my memory banks here. Just make sure I'm not forgetting something.
Yeah.
Millennium Falcon. 2, 3, 4, or 1. Quad laser cannons. I'm just going to go with 2.
I'm going to go with 2 as well.
Because that is the right answer.
Yes.
Because the one on top and one
Top
on
and the bottom, yeah.
I just don't say,
Two-man.
is there like a one somewhere hidden?
Yeah, I don't think.
That's good.
There was that gun that drops down.
Yeah,
But that's just
and
a
that's
gun.
and that's
laser.
a thing. Maybe we could do a video about that. The layout of the Millennium Falcon. It's almost like the Star Trek. Like, where's that bridge? Is it on top or bottom? Because when they show that scene in New Hope, where one guy's going up, one guy's going down below, like how they're sitting and like the
I
angles,
know.
it's confusing to me.
It is.
So it's like it looks like they should be back. Like they look at each other back to back, but yet one
is looking down, one is looking up.
yeah. But the
Yeah.
gravity's all off. Like, so I don't know. It's just
It's really, it's tricky. It is trippy.
yeah. Anyways,
All right. Anyway, so check us out, InsideTheForce.com. Follow us on Twitter at Inside the Force. We got some guests coming on the show here soon, hopefully, if you can line up the times right. But got a lot to talk about coming this month in March, setting up for Celebration. I'm sure there'll be a ton of rumors breaking on what we're actually going to get at Celebration. So we'll keep on that. All right. So for Casey Cooley.
if the rebels have obtained a complete technical reading of the station, it is possible, however unlikely, they might find a weakness and exploit it. Love that.
Nice.
Like that's like one of two lines that he has, and that
Yeah.
that whole scene's just cool. I like that. That's a good dialogue scene.
Yeah, you always see the
tag.
side of his face, right?
Yeah,
And
he's
then
just kind of leaning right into the camera.
Yeah, and then he has that one, I
And
think.
it's possible, however unlikely. He's really into that. And then you have Marty, who sounds like a nerd. I feel like
I know.
the ultimate power in the universe. Yeah, that's how I always imagine him saying that.
Your sad devotion to that ancient religion.
Dangerous to your Starfleet commander, not to this battle station. Anyways,
Marty.
looks like he's just...
He was on the Death Star, right?
yeah,
Yes.
he's dead. He's
He's Gandhi.
He's gosh.
All right. Appreciate everybody checking us out and listening. Follow us on Twitter and go to InsideTheForce.com to subscribe and let us know what you think. He's Kryptonian1138 on Twitter. I'm D Cottingham21 on Twitter. Give us a follow. Send us some comments and questions. Let us know what's out there in the Star Wars galaxy. And look for our latest video coming out very soon here. We're going to try to get one done here this week. And check us out. That's youtube.com/21network. All right. He's Case Cooley.
Goodbye, everybody.
I'm Dave Cottingham, and may the Force be with you.
This has been a production of the 21 Network. For more great podcasts, visit 21network.com. To view additional content, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/21network. Follow us on Twitter at 21network for the latest news and updates. The 21 Network, for the fan and all of us.